everyone. It is March 29th. It's a Tuesday. It's not normally when we do the news, but we delayed yesterday's news in hopes that the news would come today. And boy, let me tell you, it came twice. We got a handful of news here. PlayStation's big news, at least one of them dropped. I don't know what these other two pieces of news that people are talking about, but hey, it's Tuesday. We still got a bunch of days of the week. We got 3 left by my count, so we'll see what happens. But the big news of the day is the new PlayStation Plus subscription rebrand. It is now official. We're going to head on over to the PlayStation blog to read all about it. It's the new PlayStation Plus. They're just rebranding. It'll be launching in June. It'll have 700 plus games. And quote, more value than ever. There's a lot to cover here. Jim Ryan's been out there doing a bunch of interviews. Obviously, this is a pretty big deal. It's their first step into combating Game Pass, if there is a, adversarial agreement amongst the two. We can talk a little bit about it, though. There's going to be a tiered system. You can see right here, there's 3 tiers. PlayStation Plus Essential, PlayStation Plus Extra, and PlayStation Plus Premium. Essential will provide the same benefits that PlayStation Plus members are getting today, which includes 2 monthly downloadable games, exclusive discounts, cloud storage for saved games, and online multiplayer access. There are no changes for existing PlayStation Plus members in this tier. In the US, that'll run $60 annually. PlayStation Plus Extra. You get everything from the previous tier, plus a catalog of 400 of the most enjoyable PS4 and PS5 games, including blockbuster hits from our PlayStation Studios catalog and third-party members. Games in the extra tier are downloadable for play. And then Premium, which will include 340 additional games on top of all that, including PlayStation 3 games, which will be available via cloud streaming, and a catalog of beloved classic games available in both streaming and download options from the original PlayStation, PS2, and PSP generations. They're also offering cloud streaming access for PlayStation, PS2, PSP, and PS4 games in certain markets. And there will also be time-limited game trials offered in this tier, so customers can try select games before they buy. That'll be $120 annually. Now, I look at all this, and I don't think it's that great of a deal. I really don't. Yeah, we'll jump into the why and how here pretty soon. Let's get through some of these quotes from Jim Ryan, the PlayStation CEO. He did an interview with GameIndustry.biz. They're basically talking about why they are not offering games from the first party for free, as a part of it, not really for free. That's disingenuous. Like Xbox Game Pass is doing. You're still gonna have to buy all your first party games on day one. And they came out and said, or Jim came out and said, we feel like we're in a good virtuous cycle with the studios, where the investment delivers success, which enables yet more investment, which delivers yet more success. We like that cycle, and we think our gamers like that cycle. In terms of putting our games into the service or any services upon their release, as you well know, this is not a road that we've gone down in the past, and it's not a road that we're going to go down with this new service. We feel if we were to do that with our games that we make at PlayStation Studios, that virtuous cycle will be broken. The level of investment that we need to make in our studios would not be possible. And we think the knock-on effect on the quality of the games we make would not be something that gamers want. Ultimately, he's definitely seen the numbers, okay? And we haven't, probably. So I understand where he's coming from. I look at this as Jim Ryan saying, we can't take the hit. Microsoft took a giant hit at the launch of Game Pass by putting all of their games in there, and they built up that platform, and now it's become kind of an industry standard. PlayStation, they're not willing to do that. They don't have as deep pockets as Microsoft has over there at Sony. So I kind of get where he's coming from in that. Saying this whole idea of like, you know, like speaking for gamers, like just come out and say that. I think it's okay if you come out and say like, yeah, unfortunately the numbers don't play in our favor to do that. It's like weird statement of saying nothing that Jim Ryan said is it in some ways it comes off a little pretentious. I don't know. I think you can talk to gamers as normal people. And I feel like Jim Ryan doesn't a lot of the times. He refers to us as gamers. And gamers are fucking degenerates. And it's a nightmare word. Just say people. People play games. Gamers don't play games. That's the way I look at it. Maybe I'm biased. I don't know. We'll see what happens with this. Obviously, it's a big deal for PlayStation. It's going to be launching in June. And we'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. Still think Game Pass is going to be the best in the business. But to be honest, this isn't a competitor for Game Pass. This is an evolution of, I think, what PlayStation is trying to do. So more information over at GameIndustry.biz if you want to read that interview with Jim Ryan. It's quite big. They're also saying that the following games will be available for PS Plus Extra and Premium subscribers. Death Stranding, God of War, Marvel's Spider-Man, plus Miles Morales, Mortal Kombat 11, and Returnal. So, yeah. Speaking of Xbox Game Pass, they came out today. They're going to be bringing PC Game Pass to Indonesia, Malaysia, Philippines, Thailand, Vietnam later this year with an Xbox Insider preview today. According to Nico Partners Data, which is a research firm focused on providing specialized market intelligence on the video game industry in Asia, it shows that there are 160 million PC gamers across these markets. Subscriptions can lower the barrier of entry for premium PC games, they state. That's a pretty big deal. That's a lot of people that could be brought into the fold of Xbox Game Pass. In another bout of capturing the news cycle from Sony, the ID at Xbox program came out and stated that they have earned indie developers more than 2.5 billion USD in royalties. In an update posted to the Xbox Wire, Chris Charla, who's the general manager of content curation and programs over at ID at Xbox, acknowledged that whilst the team really didn't know much at the time, the ID at Xbox program was launched 9 years ago. Xbox understood that it's, quote, players love the artistry and diversity delivered by independent developers and, quote, had to do everything we could to help developers maximize their success on the Xbox ecosystem. The results of the ID at Xbox, which have, quote, exceeded Xbox's wildest dreams, also saw, quote, total revenue generated by ID at Xbox partners on Xbox almost double over the last 3 years. Thanks to COVID for that, being locked at home. Charlo came out and also said 9 years ago, we made a promise to independent developers that we work as hard as we could on their behalf because we knew Xbox players would be stoked, and an official statement, to support their work. We don't by any means consider this promise fulfilled because we see our work as an ongoing commitment from Xbox to independent developers. But through ID at Xbox, the launch of ID at Azure, our work with Game Pass and beyond to help developers bring their games to Xbox, and with the community response to the amazing games we're seeing come to the platform, we feel we're making progress in the right direction. Yeah, I'd agree. You're stoked. We get it. What a weird official phrase. Mike Frazzini, this happened over the weekend, who is the head of Xbox Games, is leaving both the division and Amazon itself. Bloomberg.com is reporting that Frazzini informed staff of his departure this past Friday, with a spokesperson telling the site that he was leaving to focus on the family, the site being GameIndustry.biz. He's been overseeing Amazon's video game endeavors since 2009. The Amazon spokesperson went on to say Mike was there at the beginning of Amazon Games, and his leadership and perseverance helped build the game's business from the ground up. Our recent success with New World and Lost Ark are the result of a long-term customer-focused vision for games he helped establish. We are very grateful for all his contributions and wish Mike the very best. I mean, I guess you're not going to say the New World failed. Maybe from a monetary perspective, they sold enough copies of that $30 game with no subscription, and it ended up being a win. Could be the case. We haven't seen the numbers. They obviously have. They view it as a success, at least publicly. Moving along, Epic has announced through the Fortnite Twitter account that they have raised $70 million for the humanitarian relief funds for Ukraine. The tweet came out and said, "Together, we've now raised 70 million USD in humanitarian relief efforts for Ukraine. Congratulations and thanks everyone, plus Xbox, for joining this effort." That's a massive amount of money. And it doesn't stop there. The Humble Bundle Stand with Ukraine bundle is over, and it raised over $20 million for humanitarian relief for Ukraine. The funds raised are part of the company's pledge to donate all proceeds from in-game purchases to support those affected in the country. The initiative will run until April the 3rd. Good stuff. Round of applause. Round of applause. We've got a little bit of some marketing analysts involved here. They're basically saying the forecast on the video game console market is that Xbox is expected to gain 7% console market share by 2026. Sony's expected to lose 4% market share during the same time, while Nintendo will lose 3%. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Speaking of Nintendo, Kirby and the Forgotten Land came out last Friday, and it's currently sitting at number 1 on the UK boxed charts for its first week, comfortably beating Tiny Tina's Wonderland. It sold 2.5 times the number of copies in its first week as the previous best, which was 2018's Kirby Star Allies, which was also on the Switch. In its first sales week alone, it makes it the 5th biggest Kirby game in the UK, just behind Kirby's Adventures Wii and ahead of Kirby and the Rainbow Paintbrush on the Wii U. Tiny Tina, of course, took second place. Physical sales were on the low side when compared to the franchise, falling short of 10% of Borderlands 3 sales during the launch in 2019. Looks like 52% of those sales were on the PS5, 25% on the Xbox, and 15% on the PS4 and Xbox One. Keep in mind, all these numbers are only in the UK. We don't have numbers and probably won't for at least a month or so for the rest of the world. In unfortunate news, the creator and writer of Coffee Talk, Fami, has passed away. There's a tweet from the Coffee Talk Twitter account that says, "Today we received a devastating news that Fami, the creator and writer of Coffee Talk, has passed away. May his soul rest in peace, and our hearts are with his family and loved ones. May all good things he shared, story he wrote, live on with us forever. Thank you, Fami." At the time of recording, cause of death was not revealed and probably won't. Respect his privacy. Moving along to a little bit more gaming news. Breath of the Wild 2. It's been delayed. Spring 2023 is the new launch target. We'll see if they make it. There's a video pushed out from Nintendo where the series producer talks about the game. They show a little bit of the gameplay. And he goes on to say, the adventure in the sequel will take place not just on the ground, as in the previous game, but also in the skies above. However, the expanded world goes beyond that, and there will be an even wider variety of features you can enjoy. We'll see you in 2023. Can't wait to play with your armor degradation. It's going to be great. First you had weapons, sequel, that armor is going to deteriorate, and it's going to piss people off, and we're going to love it. It's going to be fantastic. Maybe Nintendo can launch a new console with that. That's the hope, right? We'll see. Spring 2023 is not too far away. On Sunday, I believe, might have been yesterday, the Kingdom Hearts series turned 20. And in celebration of Kingdom Hearts' 20th anniversary, Final Fantasy VII Remake tweeted out a piece of art. That's the most they could do, because Disney probably has them by the balls and they can't do anything else. But hey, Kingdom Hearts, pretty good series. Don't play 3. Maybe play 3. Maybe. Play 1 and 2. And maybe the 7 other games as well. What else happened? Yesterday, One Piece Odyssey was announced. It's described as a new One Piece RPG. It'll feature an original story by author, I am sorry, I'm going to butcher this, Ichiro Oda. And it's developed by Ilka. It's coming to the PS4 and 5 and the Xbox Series X and S and Steam sometime in 2022. It's a JRPG. The project concept is an epic adventure to experience the OP world, One Piece world. Oda designed the characters and the monsters. It's possibly the One Piece game with the longest dev time, and it seems to be running on the Unreal Engine. We'll be taking a look at that on trailer time tomorrow, because I'm very curious to see what that game looks like. DNF Duel, that fighting game, is getting a second open beta on PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 4, and it'll begin this upcoming Saturday, the 2nd of April, and end on the 4th of April, the following Monday. I might check it. I might check a look at that. We might jump into that. We'll see. What else do we got? Oh, NFTs are back in the news. I didn't see this a little bit. Storybook Brawl, a popular free-to-play game, card game, on Steam is getting review bombed on its Steam page after the devs behind Storybook Brawl announced plans to integrate NFTs and blockchain technology into it. Yeah, popular. That's right. Okay. In the announcements from Good Luck Games, the company shared vague plans about incorporating NFT and blockchain tech into Storybook Brawl. According to the studio, it also promises it'll make sure that the integration is, quote, ethical and make the game, quote, better for players while making sure the, quote, fun comes first. Supermassive Games also announced through Twitter that Jessie Buckley, the Oscar-nominated actress, will star as Kate Wilder in the new entry in the Dark Pictures anthology, The Devil in Me. That's kind of cool. We'll see how that goes. Yeah. Sony Interactive Entertainment has filed a trademark for Knack on March 17th in Japan. And Bomco Namkai. Bandai Namco Entertainment has filed a trademark for Stacky Basket. Both were made public yesterday. Get ready for more Knack. Maybe that's the big announcement this week. Knack 3. Whew. Could be good. Could be good. What is this? My editor wrote, remember that awfully Fast and Furious Crossroads game? Well, Steam announced that all product sales will end on April 29th at 4 a.m. CEST. Part of the announcement was if you bought the game digitally, it will remain in your library and can be re-downloaded in the future. Any DLCs purchased before April 29th, 2022 will also still be available to use after this date. The game's online modes will also remain active. I guess their license to sell that is running out, I guess is what to gather from that. Kind of weird. Dead by Daylight has announced via a Twitter message that they have surpassed 50 million players. God damn. Never played it. Never played it. I don't have any hot takes. I haven't played it. The Xbox games with gold for April 2022 have been announced, and they are Another Sight, Hue, Outpost, Kaloki X, and MX versus ATV Alive. Guys, it is spring and summer. It's gonna suck. No video games are coming out because Elden Ring is still number 1 right now on Steam. Steam Deck number 2, which is a little bit weird, but I guess it's selling well. It Takes Two coming in at 3, Ghostwire Tokyo at 4, and the Valve Index sitting at number 5 for the week ending the 27th of March. Moving on to a little bit random news. Work in Hollywood with video games continues. Jamie Lee Curtis was on the Jimmy Kimmel Live show and has announced that she will officiate her youngest daughter's wedding in the actress's backyard, but she will do so while wearing a World of Warcraft cosplay. That cosplay will be Jaina Proudmoore, one of the most powerful sorceresses in the WoW franchise. Why is she doing that? Well, her daughter, Ruby Guest, is having a cosplay-themed wedding. We're going to have a beautiful picnic in the backyard. I'm really excited, Curtis told Kimmel. Both my children will have been married in my backyard, which brings me to tears. Sure, why not? Okay, I'm sure some fun photos will come out from that. Paramount, the people behind the new Halo show, has announced that Halo set a new record as the service's most watched series premiere globally in its first 24 hours of release, topping the previous mark established by Yellowstone prequel 1883 this past December. No numbers were provided, but for reference, the record-breaking 1883 series debuted on Paramount Plus and drew 4.9 million viewers in a promotional linear airing behind Yellowstone on the Paramount network. Damn. That's actually at least 5 million then, right? That's kind of impressive. I didn't think that many people watched it. We definitely added to that by spoiling it all on this past Sunday on Drop Frames. Make sure to check that out. The PlayStation Plus lineup has been leaked for April 2022. It will include Hood, Outlaws, and Legends. Why? Slay the Spire. Okay. And SpongeBob SquarePants, The Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated. Guys, video games, they're not coming out. They're not coming out at all. Just the next couple of weeks. We can check JPNN to look at the game releases for the week. Are you ready? Let's dive in. Weird West comes out the 31st. Death Stranding Director's Cut on the 30th. The PS5 and Xbox Series X version of Crusader Kings on the 29th. Starship Troopers Terran Command comes out the 31st. Midnight Ghost Hunt as well comes out PC and early access on the 31st. And that's kind of it. We'll keep that list updated over at jpedia.net. Feel free to drop on by if you have any thoughts on what game you want to play coming out in the next couple of months, because I would love to hear them. Please. The stream needs it. Anyways, that's going to do it for JPNN. Let me know what you think in the comments about PlayStation's new thing, their new service as well. Interested to hear how people feel about that and if you're going to be jumping in and buying it. We will see you next time. Maybe tomorrow, I guess, because it's Wednesdays. Or maybe this week will just be awkward and we'll do another one Thursday. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Until then, we'll see you then. Okay, how about that? Have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye.